Hi guys, welcome to my channel. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. Thank you for coming. My name is Amy, for those that don't know, and today we're going to do a week 8 update on intermittent fasting. So if you've watched my previous videos, you know that I started intermittent fasting in the middle of March for several reasons: weight loss, overall health, a few specific goals that we will touch on in other videos that are to come, like intermission, I don't know what's going on here, like remission of autoimmune disease and other things like that. I'm gonna move this because it's gonna distract me. I'm just gonna go into the update. We're gonna go over kind of like weekly averages of weight, inches lost, things like that, and then just a few other little quick things. So this is gonna be probably a much shorter video than the previous ones I have done. But without further ado, let's get down to the details. So I started out this journey at 193 pounds. That was the first weight I recorded, and so that's my starting point here. It's also about the heaviest that I have gotten to. So 193 is the starting number. At the average, now for those that have not watched the previous videos, I do a weekly average of weight because you know that whatever you're doing during the week, what you eat, how you're feeling, things like that, a bunch of things can affect your weight throughout the day and from day to day. So rather than getting discouraged by numbers or trying to guess at if I'm making progress, I just do a weekly average. So my weekly average weight for week 8 was 182.6, which means I am officially down, well, okay, I was gonna say 11 pounds, 10.4 pounds. The previous average for the week before, week 7, was 182.9. I think in my last video, I was calling week 7 week 8 because when I was counting the calendars, they didn't line up and I counted one week twice. So my apologies if that gets confusing. But this is officially week 8. I'm trying to film these as close as possible to real time. They may not go up in real time. I'm trying to film them in real time just so that I remember what's going on. So anyway, week 8, average was 182.6, down from 182.9. So I lost a third of a pound. Doesn't seem like a ton, I know. It's gonna sound maybe a little less positive when I tell you the next number, which is my inches. So I measure, and I have specific measurements that I do at the end of each week just to kind of see where I'm down. Now, also I want you to keep in mind that these numbers are not going to be as dramatic as the previous ones that I shared, because the previous ones were kind of a starting point and then several weeks later. So you're getting like a whole big slew of results here, and this is just 1 week. So keep that in mind. This week I was up 0.625 inches. I want to add a disclosure here that while I understand, like, I know this stuff and I'm not trying to convince myself that it's okay, I just want people who are watching to know that's okay. Week 8 was leading up to and beginning my cycle, so I had some bloating, I had some water retention. I actually lost almost, well no, just over 3/4 of an inch everywhere else on my body. I lost 0.875 inches on the rest of my body. But my boobs were a little swollen with the impending cycle, so they actually went up by 0.65. Or no, I'm sorry, they went up 1.5 inches. A whole 1.5 inches in measurements, they went up 1.5 inches. So the rest of my body, it didn't seem like it was doing much because it's actually up 0.625. But it's actually down 0.875. So, I did lose inches elsewhere. It's just that there was a little bit of inflammation, enlargement, shall we say, of areas. Overall, however, from start, when I started measuring to, which is about 10 days into the journey, to the end of the 8th week, I was down a total of 18.25 inches. So that's pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good about that. My average fast this week were 17 hours. So I strive to do 16 hours daily. And then if I go longer than that, I go longer than that. I did actually have my longest fast during week 8 that I've done so far, which was 21 and a half hours. And it wasn't bad. I was always kind of dreading it. Like, I'm never going to be able to make that far. I don't want to push myself because I don't want to make myself miserable just to say I got to this number. I don't want it to be something that I don't enjoy anymore, or that makes me feel like I have to do it, or like I'm suffering, because that's just how people quit. And I don't want to quit living this lifestyle, because it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle, it's a way of life, it's a healthy way of being. And I don't want to burn myself out on it just because I couldn't meet some arbitrary goal that, you know, other people were meeting. But I did make it to 21 and a half hours, and I felt great. So that was fantastic. But my average length of fasting was 17 hours. So I went 17 hours on average. I would usually close my window by about 7:30, between 7:30 and 8:30, sometimes at 9. And then I would go at least 16 hours, but again, average of 17 hours until I opened my window again. My windows have been open for about 6 hours. 6.5 hours. There were a few days where they were open for longer, a few days where they were open for shorter, but that's about the average of where we've been. So again, to recap, we're down a total of 10.4 pounds. We are down a total of 18.25 inches, and we're at about a 17-hour fast at the end of week 8. So for next week, what I want to do is update you guys. I will show you what my beginning numbers were for my TSH and for my TPOA, which is my thyroid peroxidase antibody. And I'm actually going to get those tests rerun this weekend, so we should have the results back by the time I film week 9's update. Just to kind of see where we're at, because I want to follow those numbers too and see how they're doing. Just to kind of get an idea. Because I've actually, that's again one of my goals, is to get my Hashimoto's thyroid, I always say Hashimoto's thyroiditis, Hashimoto's hypothyroidism into remission, a remissive status, so that my body's not attacking my thyroid further and causing more damage. So that's one of the things that I'll be monitoring, and I'm going to go to the doctor this weekend. So I will update you in my next video. If you want to see my next video, you don't want to miss it, make sure that you subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments, encouragement, you need encouragement, you're looking for somebody to go along the journey with, whatever the case may be, leave a comment down below, and I will see you back here next week for another update video.